I think it's recording a game, so we're just gonna play it. This is a story-driven game.
Alright, go ahead and do your intro.
I don't have an intro.
What about the game is?
Stanley Parable.
What it's about?
Basically, choose your own story. Root. And it's not.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment as the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
He was happy with his life. Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Alright. The frame rate is kind of bad. Okay, it's...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. Wait. There's room 420.
What is the parable in that?
That's all I'd say. Just room, it's just room 420. Sensitivity is crap. But...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I don't want to? Screw you, narrator.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yep.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Okay.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, taking it all in.
There's a drink machine.
Yeah, that's why it's beautifully constructed. Look at it. It's beautiful. Okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I think maybe you should be wondering where all your co-workers has been.
Sure, narrator.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No thanks.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
Stanley
years
is so
ago.
bad at following directions.
Okay.
Maybe that's why he's all alone.
Okay. Can you jump off? Don't want to.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
360!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
And the end.
Okay, let's try that again without jumping off. What?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's
Okay.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Is it my dog?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking
Maybe some
for
life
her.
lessons involved in this game.
For her? For her? Oh.
This
Oh.
is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Stanley Parable.
She's
Who is
been
this kiddo?
waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
I would
To reach out
answer
to
it.
her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Answer it. Answer
Wait,
the phone.
wait, there's a plug.
As Stanley
Answer the
picked up the
phone.
phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Yes,
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You
I'm a
actually
hacker.
chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Yeah.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also
That's
be the
the
most
best.
dangerous.
No.
For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
Set fire
Which
to every
choice
orphan.
would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking.
Oh.
Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
A what? A back, sack, and crack.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't know what a back sack and crack is. Alright.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part
Okay,
of a
there's not a
healthy
very good
decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Okay.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly
Let's get to the
informed on
point
good
of this thing.
decision
What is the
making,
point
we're
to
going to
this?
revisit a
It's just a
choice you
choose
made
your own
just a few
adventure
minutes
game,
ago
so-
Because
and see
you
what the
decided
correct
to
thing to
choose
do
against
would
everything
be.
they have
This
challenged
way,
for.
please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah. Okay.
So what would happen if you went with them? If you decided to go by their rules?
Then you get a good ending.
So you just want a bad ending?
Well, this is not really a bad ending, but
Now that we know your choices are meaningful,
An
we
ending.
can't have you jumping off the
Easter
platform and dying. Imagine the
Easter
main
egg
character
ending.
dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
okay. So we have to backtrack.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, the story never came first in every video game I played, so screw you, narrator.
We've already done this one. Go to the store on the left. You've already been through
Why
this.
did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps
Go
we're not
back.
too
Go back
late.
to the left.
Is it too late?
You've already done this like twice. Go back the other way. Go on the left.
Now I have to. Dad, don't tell me what to
Come
do.
on.
Don't tell me what to do. No. No, where are you? But look, I've already done it.
I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work.
You done what he said to
Why?
do.
For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way.
Look at the chairs.
Is it better
Go
to
around.
shut the game down entirely, to
Look at the
willingly
chairs,
destroy
please.
all of my
One
work?
of them bottom, some of them don't.
No.
One of them start
That's
off
the
on the
answer.
floor.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
What do you do?
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have
Maybe
to.
they're for midgets.
I have to.
Why? He's gonna it's resetting the game. Oh no. No, we're dying. Okay, we're not. I don't know. Nice talk for new noises.
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to
Where the
do
crap is
something,
Stanley?
there's a damn good reason for it.
He's mad.
That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had
I
it?
think he's on his period.
There's a
man.
world outside of
Orange
you.
period?
Yeah.
You're a
Do you-
child.
That
do you-
don't even make
Do you
sense.
see all the blood? Do you see all this?
Story.
Enough of that.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you
What?
would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious.
Well,
It
spoiler
would have been
alert.
so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard
Oh.
to behave exactly as Stanley would.
Okay, go
That
to the door
means
left.
choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright. I guess we'll go on the left.
No.
Okay. What happens now? And great.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh no.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay.
Closet.
Okay. There's a broom closet.
Room closet. Don't come out of the closet.
Won't let me go in.
Y'all don't hear about people coming out of the closet? How come you don't ever hear anybody going in the closet?
Good question.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
That's his boss's office?
Yeah. I've played like, I've got...
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Oh.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it.
Oh.
Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115.
Step finally. Pick up.
Night Shark 115. It's not working.
More plain, more loud.
Stanley spoke the code.
Speak the code.
Night
Shark 115.
115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I am.
Speak again.
Night Shark 115. It's not working.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yes.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115. I think it's supposed to happen.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously.
Night Shark 115.
If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right.
Shut
you could
up.
have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
I'm no coward, thanks.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Can't do the door. So,
This you watching yourself or something?
Stanley?
Stanley?
Hello? Are you... Is everything okay?
Oh,
Stanley, please.
Stanley.exe stopped working.
Choice.
The end.
I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to
Explain the Stanley variable.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Stop recording.
Alright, we're done.
Stanley, this is important.
And that was the Stanley Parable.
Leave a like.
We still haven't found the purpose in it.
Leave a like if you like to pay respect for this broken Stanley over there. Alright, bye.
I simply need you to
Bye-bye.
take
I
that
hate all of you.